Thank you. Thank you, Lital, and thank you, Tal, for the words, for the music, and actually for the whole inspiration. Thank you so much. The Minister of Innovation, Science and Technology, Mr. Ofir Akonis, the President of the Italian Space Agency, Professor Teodoro Valente, Chairman of the Israeli Space Agency, Professor Dan Bloomberg, the Ramon family, ambassadors, distinguished guests. For the 19 years, this conference, named after Ilan Ramon, the first Israeli astronaut, has been held. For 19 years, we have been gathering, remembering Ilan, talking, presenting, changing views. People from all over the world, people from various fields, astronauts, researchers, entrepreneurs, industry people, and policymakers. For 19 years, we have been meeting. But this conference is different. We never gather like this when the state of Israel is in war. We had never gathered like this after that Saturday that shook us all. Shook the region, shook the nation, shook the whole world. And yet, we are here today. Because even when we fight for what is important for us, for what is necessary for our existence, for what is right, we look forward. We look ahead to those places that will pull this train up the road, to those areas that will be an engine for economic, social, and international growth. We look forward to the future not because it is the right thing to do, because it is the only way we have known for so many years. Now, this is a great opportunity for me to thank each and every one of you who came here today, from near and from far. And I feel a particularly pleasant obligation to thank my friend, the President of the Italian Space Agency. He actually just entered to his office, I think, about 3 or 4 months ago. So thanks very much for coming. And the ambassadors who join us today, I think it's extremely important, and sometimes actions speaks louder than words. Now, we choose to emphasize this conference on the various challenges and opportunities that reality present to the space industry. First and foremost, the potential contribution to the Israeli economy of the space sector. We believe that despite all the challenges we face, there is an extraordinary window for the Israeli space sector. The field of space has experienced an extraordinary momentum in the recent years. And that's a known fact. I think everybody here understands that. The space industry has grown significantly in recent years, but it's still largely an infant industry, not only in Israel, and it's certainly not a sustainable industry. From an analysis made by KPMG firm at the request of the Space Agency, some interesting facts and numbers are emerged, facts and data that I would be happy to share with you today. Now, the main question that we wanted to find out was the current and the future contribution of the Israeli space industry to the Israeli economy. Along with this, we asked for a number of other things and questions. And as part of the work that we've done with KPMG, we defined the space industry and the mapping of all these space Israeli companies matching those definitions was carrying out. Now, in order to maintain a very clear language, eventually what we decided is to adopt the OECD definition for space economy. And basically, you can see it here. The most important thing is to realize those 3 different subsectors. The upstream sector, that is well known, basically taking things up from Earth to space. The downstream sector, taking things back from space down to Earth, mainly data or images. And the space-derived activities, which is another very important part of what we are doing in space. It is not the inner circle, it's sometimes the second or the third circle. Now, adopting those kind of definition will enable a unified language with various entities and with international partners. What we've done also is we do the mapping of the Israeli space companies, more than 60 companies that are doing directly with space, and there is much more doing the other things. Now, according to this definition, it will allow the space agency and other entities a better understanding of the market and its needs. From here to some interesting and enlightening data that the work of KPMG presented to us. Data indicating the economic contribution of the space industry. Now, you can see that the expected economic contribution of the Israeli space industry in terms of the gross added value, right now we're sitting around 6 billion shekels a year. Now, when we look forward, what you can see that the annual economic contribution of the space industry, right now estimated at 6 billion shekel, now this contribution will be expected to increase 2.5 times by 2050. Now, the economic contribution of an employee in the space industry is 45% higher than the average wage in the market and 25% higher than in the software industry. And that's actually was number that a little bit surprised us, but those are the real numbers. Now, the Israeli Space Agency has set its main goal of to build a sustainable Israeli space industry, and that's not an easy task. This is, without doubt, one of the goals of the State of Israel in the field of space, and it is a goal that we can achieve together. An Israeli space industry in which dozens of companies, like you saw the numbers, operate successfully, and in which thousands of people will work. It will diversify the Israeli high-tech and will be an engine for economic and social growth. The strategic plan of the Israeli Space Agency was just approved last year by Minister Akunis. Is made of 18 tools and actions focused on providing the overall framework for strengthening the sustainable space ecosystem. Mainly, we emphasize action that will enable initiative and entrepreneurship, thus increasing the deal flow of the space industry. KPMG analysis shows, like I told you, that with the government intervention, we will be able to reach financial contribution level not in 2015, as you can see here in this chart. We'll be able to do that in 2035. Now that means that it will happen 15 years earlier. What we need to do is to put the right money on the right places in order to make the deal flow of the space sector grow. It's not an easy task, but it's a task that we can do, and we know how to do it. Now, the potential of the economic contribution is an important pillar, of course, but it is not the only consideration. There are other considerations and reasons for investing in space. A diverse space industry affects many industries and will lead to the creation of quality jobs that do not depend only on high-tech. And it will go to many, many other places all around Israel, including some peripheral places, and we already see that. Places like Yerucham, for example, is a place that we know can build a very relevant space ecosystem inside this southern city. A strong space industry indicates a strong space capabilities. We know that for a fact. We look at other countries and we look at their space capabilities. So a strong space nation is a strong nation. Activity in the field of space is an extensive platform for international cooperation. We see our part of the international partners sitting with us here today. And there is, of course, the contribution to research and science, basically enabling the flourish of the whole ecosystem in Israel. Over the past few years, many technological breakthroughs have resulted from space activities in such a way that they have affected life on Earth. For example, as you see here, 3D printing, disaster management that will be discussed later on a few of the panels, and many, many other more. Therefore, the development of space infrastructure contributes directly and indirectly to many, many other fields. So yes, this is a different conference. This is a different space conference from the previous 18. Our reality is different. Our day-to-day life are different today. But in these days, when we are fighting a just struggle like no other, we are also obligated to look to the future. And when we look at it, we see that outside the atmosphere that protects us, there is a space where there are many, many opportunities to ensure prosperity and bring growth. So yes, this year too, we will continue to talk, we will continue to present and examine together new ways in which the field of space can serve us all. We will do this as we remember the struggle and the challenges. We will do this as we remember the hostages we are so eagerly waiting to them to be back home. We will do it because this is also part of victory. I would like to thank again each and every one of you who came here today, and I wish us a successful meeting and a very, very fruitful conference. Thank you so much.
Uri, thank you for the enlightening talk. Please stay on stage.